Summer before I went to uni, I worked at this Greasy Spoon. It was all right. Some of the regulars were a bit of a laugh. But fucking Rita Bacon all the time. One morning, this young guy comes in, about 7:30. He'd never been in before, but I knew exactly who he was the second he walked through that door. He orders a coffee, full English, no mushrooms, pays, goes and sits down on his phone waiting for his food. He obviously had no idea where I was. If he had, he'd have walked straight back out there. But like I say, I knew exactly who he was. Aidan fucking Mitchell. An absolute cunt, to put it mildly. I'd never had anything to do with him, but he'd gone to the same school as my cousins, and some of the lads from my school knew him from a youth club they all went to. They made me painfully aware of who he was and what he got up to. He'd made my cousin Tammy's life a living hell at school. To the point where she killed herself. After she died, instead of being remorseful, he'd gone round boasting to some of the lads at that youth club that he was the one who killed her. He revelled in the fact that he'd been arrested and questioned for murder. Tried to build up this reputation that he was a murderer. Such a dick. There was never any proof that he killed her. But when all the evidence was gathered together, it was clear that he drove her to suicide, just relentlessly bullying and harassing her. Malik left a hammer and bat under the counter at this cafe. Every now and then, usually in the evening as we'd be winding down, some smacked up twat would come in with a poxy little knife demanding notes out the till. You whip out a big fuck off hammer from under the counter and act like you're going to cave their fucking head in. They soon do one. I'm looking down at this hammer under the counter and looking back up at this fucking prick Aidan. All I can think about is smashing this bastard's face in. He looks up, sees me eyeballing him. I can see him trying to work out where he knows me from, more likely where I know him from. We're staring each other down. And then Jerry, fucking Jerry, loved him to bits, but he was the last person I wanted wandering up to the counter at that moment. Great guy, never shut up. We had the exact same conversation every day. And normally I'd be happy to indulge the old fella. But that day, all I could think about was how and what I was going to do to that fucking wanker Aidan. Just breezed in like he didn't have a care in the world. This isn't a spur of the moment thing. You've no idea how long I've been waiting for this. How long I've been fantasizing about kicking that little bastard's teeth in. I'd heard all about what he'd done to my cousin, and I'd heard all about his prideful boasts that he was the one who killed her. That was the first time I'd seen him in all the years since that happened, and he just happened to turn up at my work during the breakfast rush. Was I seriously going to knock the shit out of him there and then? As Jerry's wittering on, I see Aidan get up and leave. He's already paid for his breakfast, so he's either clocked who I was or knew he was in for some trouble. He almost sprinted to the door. Make my excuses as Jerry's wittering on, only pausing momentarily to turn round and resume his conversation with a baffled-looking stranger in the queue behind him. I dash to the door. I can see Aidan practically legging it up the road. I watch him disappear as I contemplate whether it's worth chasing after him. Nah. Keep running, you prick. Keep running. I walk back in. Malik places Aiden's breakfast on the side. Here you go, Jerry, I said, handing him the plate. This one's on the house, mate. Oh, thank you kindly, he says, before turning round to chew the ear off the stranger that he'd been accosting. I haven't seen Aiden since. But I've got ammo with your name on it, mate. A big fuck off hammer. Your fucking name.